Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. Not just you, the viewer and listener, but the man to my right, who is been front and center on American Ninja Warrior for many, many years. It's the 11th season of this remarkable program, Mondays at 8 Eastern on NBC. Good to see you, Matt Eisen.
Good to see you, Rich.
How are you, brother?
I'm great. Thrilled to be here. I just flew in from Colorado. I was home with my folks back in Denver and watching some of the Rockies games, and now back in LA getting ready for Ninja.
I love Charlie Blackmon, man.
He is such a stud.
He and Arenado are just
The
awesome.
fielding's unbelievable. The pitching's doing better. Coors Field. So I grew up as a baseball player in Colorado, and I never knew how big the altitude was till spring break. We came to California, and all of a sudden I saw balls that I thought were going 450 feet.
Right.
Infielders stepping in to get, or outfielders stepping in to catch them. So I do not envy the pitchers at Coors Field.
First All-Star game I covered for ESPN was the one in Colorado in like 97.
Yeah,
I think.
and the home run derby,
Amazing.
I remember McGuire was hitting them 500 feet.
Yeah.
That was
It was like golf balls.
Jim Thome, I think, ended up winning. He was going third deck.
I interviewed Thome and his big-ass Popeye forearms, and I just thought,
Some creatine
when
there.
he's going to get out there at Coors Field, it was going to be particularly ugly. And I was there when they started talking about, we got to get a humidor.
Yeah.
We got to get a humidor.
Putting the balls in refrigerators.
Putting the balls in a humidor to try and add some form of humidity to try and get the baseballs into a realm of normal.
We need to dome it and then just increase the humidity to 90% so your ball will bite.
He's got to be one of our favorite guests, right? Charlie Blackmon, when he came here.
Absolutely.
He like on a dinosaur shirt.
He was scrubbed out to the max.
Yeah. And he's great, and for baseball players to like wake up early and come down to El Segundo, it was neat. He's a good dude.
He's a good egg, and I think Colorado, Denver's a great sports town.
It sure is.
From the Broncos, we embrace the players who do well, and I think Blackman's going to have a bright future.
Elway had his 59th birthday over the weekend.
It's. I was just in the airport today where Elway's Steakhouse is.
Yeah.
Driving by Elway's car dealerships, and I mean, if the guy wanted to be governor, he could be.
I'm sure he could.
Yeah, whatever he wants in Denver.
He's the Duke. I think he's the Duke.
He is the Duke.
John Elway for sure. I'll say this to you. I said this to Akbar. I'll say this to you too. The number of times I walk into a room in my house and my kids are glued to American Ninja Warrior, I have lost track.
It's unbelievable. It really. What's great is as we watch these young kids. And a lot of whom, still like baseball or traditional sports, but maybe don't play it or don't watch it as much.
Right.
That they really are embracing Ninja Warrior. And we have American Ninja Warrior Jr. on Universal Kids. We're about to film that in a couple weeks. And watching these kids get on the course and seeing how good they are.
Right.
How athletic they are. And again, when you look at like Tamika Catching's coming out, we've got these unbelievable stories. So people who are at home, these kids, whether you're tall, you're short, whether you are a great athlete or whether you're dealing with hearing impairment issues, whatever, you're going to find someone on the show who's gone through the same issues or same challenges you have. And I think there's something for these kids that they just, I think they like that. They like seeing themselves on the show.
I think it's also just the course itself and the way it's shot and the fans going crazy. It is visually striking, and I think kids really get into that. Yeah. And they love also seeing the splashdowns.
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
My mom closes her eyes every time she feels awful.
And it is intense, and it is just like the way that these athletes achieve and what it means to them to achieve. It really is just awesome. Fun.
Yeah.
Television that I know my kids are not going to get verbally, assaulted, but they're just going to sit there and enjoy it. They can't get enough
Nobody's
of it.
begging the refs, and like Katie flopping, Curry. Get used to that, Brooklyn.
Nobody is complaining about the officiating.
No,
That's
they
correct.
Don't.
And I think, again, I know this is saying a lot, but in terms of NBC families of network on cable, you might be on more than Law and Order right now.
It's that is saying something. It's unbelievable when
it's
you
everywhere.
And people will we'll see photos of people watching it because a lot of people don't watch TV the traditional way anymore, as you know, other than NFL, pretty much your sports.
Yes, that's true.
And to have Ninja on ubiquitously on multiple channels,
right?
And to have people still enjoying it and to people embracing these athletes and seeing these athletes now build careers out of it. It's awesome. I was just home in Colorado where Ninja Nation, these gyms are opening up, and a lot of our ninjas are there teaching the next generation of kids, including my friends' kids are now getting into this. And I was with my niece, and her friend was like, "You're on TV?" She goes, I feel like I'm sitting next to Ellen DeGeneres. I said, I am relatable. I get that.
You are relatable.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? We're having tacos here. This is. I'm amazed that it's amazed that people care.
It is really amazing, and the success has just been spectacular. I'll ask you the same question I asked Akbar. The folks who come up with the course, what drugs are they on?
It's so unbelievable. And what's really cool is we actually have kids. We have an obstacle design challenge where people can submit obstacles. And some of our best obstacles, we had an 11-year-old girl who designed our most challenging obstacle in Vegas, the one the ninjas love the most, and that takes a lot of them out. And it's so cool seeing people. We have a staff that works year-round to try to figure out ways to challenge these athletes.
Yes.
And to do it for people who are 4'11" to Tamika Catchings, world-class athletes in different ways. And to figure out how to push them to the limit but still make it possible.
Yes.
And it's an inexact science. We never know how it's going to play until people get on the course.
So have you ever attempted it?
Yeah.
And?
Year 40 went a lot better than my attempt on. I broke my foot. I shattered my foot trying a trampoline and fell into the water in front of all the ninjas. And it's so bad when you're out there. I'm the voice of the sport.
Yes.
I'm ostensibly the expert, and then you see me fail so awfully. My credibility with them was just shot.
Have you ever seen me at the combine, Matt? I'm just going to.
Rich, I think you get better every year. The suits, or at least they're tailored.
I don't know if you've because I can. I'll just put it this way: I can relate to what you just said about failing spectacularly.
This looks like your silhouette looks like the fugitive.
Well,
you find that man, Rich.
Exactly, and you could see the silhouette. I will admit this. The right leg normally is flailed out a little bit more.
Right.
There may have been
some generous editing.
There's been maybe some form of photo.
They had Jerry West W in the run. the logo for Rich.
Matt Iseman here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's talk about Evel Live.
Yes,
that's coming up on History Sunday, July 7th. This is some old school, fun type of stuff that's going on.
It really is. So this came out last year. Travis Pastrana wanted to pay homage to Evel Knievel. So last year in Las Vegas, live on television, he recreated 3 of his most iconic jumps, culminating in he jumped the fountain. And he did it on a bike, a 370-pound bike, similar to what Evel did, and put his life and limb on the line. And this year, they're elevating it. So we're going to have this awesome stud of a woman, Vicky Golden, who was the first woman ever to do a backflip on a bike. She's going through 13 firewalls, and the record was 10. And it's 2,000 degrees when you're going through firewalls. And then the final jump of the night, 22-year-old kid, Axel Hodges, is going to attempt to set the world jumping, the distance record, which currently is 386. He's looking to go well over a football field in the air on a motorcycle.
Can you imagine?
It's going to be live. We're shooting it out at San Bernardino Airport because that was the only place we found that could have a long enough run up for him to get up to speed. But I was out there on Friday. We were testing. And my heart was in my throat the entire time watching this kid test. And he wasn't even close to the distance, but you're just going, this kid is putting everything on the line live for our entertainment. And to push the envelope, man, to be a part of history.
So if you're trying to fly into the San Bernardino Airport on Sunday night, and you're circling.
Sorry, guys.
The reason why.
We apologize. Matt Eisman is being a little dramatic here, getting a build-up for Axel Hodges.
Yeah, we're gonna be at least in the air for another half an hour.
The coolest thing I think is feeling like I'm the same age as you are, just about, and watching. Like, you remember when Evel Knievel was jumping? Wide World of Sports. Those were must-see TV.
Well, I mean, one of the most famous pieces of video is him, the agony of his defeat when he landed, And
you know who shot that? You know who's behind the camera?
We heard this before, but give me who's behind?
Bo Derek. Because John Derek was shooting it, and Bo Derek was the one who got that iconic image of Evel Knievel ragdolling over the handlebars at Caesars.
Right.
She was the one shooting
Perfect description, ragdolling.
That was
it. Looked like he had no spine. It was just totally... He was jelly when he landed finally.
When you see those wipeouts, that was at a distance of about 140 feet. This kid's looking to go, closer to 400 feet maybe, and it's insane when you watch these athletes. Just they want to push the envelope.
Right.
They want to fly farther, faster, do higher, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see these people who are just wired differently.
Yeah, that's on History coming up Sunday, July 7th. I love it, History. It is, isn't it?
I know.
I normally think of grainy World War I videos when you're.
Right.
Evel Knievel.
Here we are at Normandy, and Axel Hodges looking to jump this motorcycle here. It's
How did he survive this crash, Evel Knievel?
And amazing.
he barely did.
Barely did.
Smashed bones, was in the hospital for 5 months.
Have you never seen this video?
No, I'm
you said
watching
that
it right
Bo
now.
Derek shot?
Bo Derek.
Dude,
My God.
dude, no joke.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where your heart is in your throat the whole time. Just watching the wipeout, but knowing the guy got back on his bike. And that's the same. All of these athletes have taken, have
Right.
had their injuries to see them get back out. It's going to be like KD in 2023 when he's finally back on the grass. No, I'm excited. I am excited. I love watching.
Look, I don't know how into Denver Nuggets basketball you were this year, but they were terrific to watch, and they just pizzade Jamal Murray. They're not losing him. They're going to stay intact.
It's been a long time.
They're going to run it back, man.
I remember it was the early 90s when we came back from 2 down to beat Seattle. And that was like the last time I felt the Nuggets were really good. The team was dismantled.
I remember the Alex English, Dan Issel Nuggets.
The horse, Dan Issel?
Dan Issel.
Fake. He was incredible.
Right. I mean, they were really good. They scored like 190 points a night.
Right? It was double dribble on Nintendo.
I know.
Just see who's gonna score the most.
It really was. And they were fun to watch. And just seeing the Nuggets last year given some Game 7 run for some money.
Well, it's good because it's felt like the West has just been, it's been the Lakers, the Warriors, the Rockets, the Thunder. That Denver just, even with good teams, the West has been so dominant.
See, that's why, again, I'll just quickly hit this again. If Kawhi signs with the Lakers, I don't think the NBA fan base wants this, and I understand. That's not what we want. Like if he stays put in Toronto or he joins the Clippers, now we're talking about a totally it really is chess pieces up in the air going into next season,
right?
As to what's going to happen with the NBA finals period, like Western and Eastern Conference.
But with AD, does he want to come and possibly be, sharing the fiddle or second fiddle? This is why KD, and I don't know why. I think KD, I'm glad he went to the Nets and not the Knicks, because I think it would have been, why would you leave the best team, the best teammates, the best coach, the best GM, a team that's been in the finals to go to the Knicks?
Well, because
so I think the Nets was a good choice.
No, and the answer to that is because the Knicks have a significant history, and a remarkable arena.
Was KD alive when the Knicks were good?
No, that's the point. That's the point. And it's totally...
He doesn't remember Willis Reed stumbling in.
No,
limping in.
He probably doesn't even remember, Michael Ray Richardson limping in, or Bernard King, in the mid-'80s when he went back to back 50s.
Postering Jordan.
Right. I mean, Starks going even 1 for 17, 1 for 16 was 94.
He would have been 7.
Right. So, I mean, it's a total... And again, Kyrie Irving saying that he remembers when the Nets made the 2003 finals. Was he a big Kid Mutombo fan?
Well,
seriously?
let's be honest.
Come on.
As soon as he signed, he went to YouTube and he goes, "What Nets game?"
Yeah, exactly.
That was the first result.
You know what we should do? We should basically say, because we only have one more segment left in the show, we should invite any Nets fan, legitimately Nets fan, to call into the show tomorrow and introduce him or herself to us.
Jets fan?
Nets.
Mets fan?
N-E-T-S. Nets. A Net fan.
Do they have their Fireman Ed equivalent?
I don't even know who they have.
Right?
I don't know who they have.
No,
they had I don't know. Honestly, I can't even. You don't know one?
No.
I don't know one.
And we're saying pre-Jay-Z fan. We don't want Jay-Z.
No.
Or if Jay-Z would call up, that'd be acceptable.
Or even the same thing, where you're like, I remember the 2003 Nets championship. And we should come up, El Zuro, our researcher. Pardon me for spending the last couple of minutes of your presence here by
I brought this up. I agree.
That we should come up with a list of trivia questions.
A quiz, yeah.
Just to prove, you can't just call in and say, I remember the Nets.
Like Derek Coleman Day Nets.
Yeah. Test your nethood. Show us your nethood.
Meet your Nets.
Meet the Nets. Come on, man.
Sorry, that's not theirs either.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming on.
No, we appreciate
Buck
the good
Williams.
Buck Williams was terrific, man. Buck Williams is a great
Rick
basketball
Barry
player.
played for the Nets.
Dr. J.
And again, even when he was there with the ABA, You want to talk about Dan Issel,
Yeah.
right? Even when he was with them,
Otis Birdsong.
they had some players, and I remember.
You can hear Chris's
They were
surprise.
all second fiddle, man.
Yeah.
They were all second fiddle. Not anymore.
Michael Ray Richardson played for the Nets also.
I know. Dude, you're.
Mike Jaminski.
By the
Sorry,
way,
I'm just reading a list
By the way,
here.
Mike Jaminski. Very few players have a G and an M to start their last name next to each other. He was the best ever to have that. At Matt Eisman on both Twitter and Instagram. Check out American Ninja Warrior Mondays at 8 Eastern Time. Hey, by the way, not a bad back-to-back for you. Sunday, July 7th.
Yeah, no,
You've got
this is-
Evil Live,
this
and
is
then
fun.
the next episode of Ninja Warriors is
My
going to be the
parents
next
are going to be
night.
watching a lot of me
There
on
you
TV.
go. The Eismans, they're kvelling, I would
They're
think,
kvelling.
in a way. Very good.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.